And tomorrow, President Joe Biden heads to Florida to survey the damage in areas affected by both Hurricanes Milton and Helene. Recovery efforts are still underway after Milton tore through the state earlier this week, causing heavy rain, high winds, and devastating flooding. The storm killed at least 17 people, and more than 1 million customers remain without power. As Florida continues to assess the toll of 2 major hurricanes, one of the state's congressional races is getting some new attention. It's a race that could determine future control of our House of Representatives. Florida Congresswoman and Trump acolyte Anna Paulina Luna is being challenged by Democrat Whitney Fox. Luna faced scrutiny this week for demanding more FEMA funds just weeks after voting against a bill that would put $20 billion into FEMA's disaster relief fund. Joining me now is Whitney Fox, Democratic candidate for Congress in Florida's 13th congressional district. Whitney, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to know that your family is safe. You did evacuate from Hurricane Milton. The district that you're running in, and that's part of the reason why you evacuated, right? That's part of St. Petersburg and Pinellas County, which was devastated by Hurricane Helene just weeks before Milton. What can you share with our viewers about the conditions there?
Thank you so much for having me, Katie. And you are right. We've seen 2 historic storms hit our district head on in the past 2 weeks. It's been pretty devastating. I mean, hundreds of people, thousands of people have lost their homes, have lost everything. Some have lost their lives. It's been devastating, to say the least. And this is part of why I decided to run for Congress. I'm born and raised in the Tampa Bay area, raising 2 little girls of my own, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. This is our home. And I've worked throughout my career to do whatever I can for the people of this district with Democrats and Republicans to get things done. And that's what we deserve, especially in a time of crisis like this, is leaders who are going to put the people first. Unfortunately, we do not have that at the moment with Anna Paulina Luna, to say the least. I think you touched on that. The fact that she voted to shut down the government just the day before Hurricane Helene was coming towards Florida.
Yeah, and you know, Whitney, I want to stay on that for a second, because Luna posted on X earlier this week that she wanted Vice President Kamala Harris to free up FEMA dollars, despite the fact that Congress controls FEMA's funding. I mean, isn't that something that somebody like Luna should know if she's a congresswoman, putting aside the fact that she voted against actually making sure that FEMA had funding?
This is what she does, Katie. It's infuriating, the lies and the disinformation that she spreads to distract from the fact that she voted against it. She's told people that illegal immigrants are getting FEMA funding. She's been on stage in North Carolina at a presidential town hall saying that FEMA is not helping districts just because they are red. And this type of disinformation is dangerous. And it's infuriating to our district when they so desperately, in a time of crisis, need help. They need to know where they can turn, what kind of help they can get. This is a crisis that we are facing in our district, and we deserve a leader who is actually going to help people and give them the correct information that they need. The fact that she has been spreading disinformation and lies in a time like this, when our district is so vulnerable, is infuriating to so many. And that's why this is one of the most competitive races in the country. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee has put us on their red to blue list. It's the first time in 6 years a Florida congressional race has been put on red to blue. And we know that we have a chance to unseat one of the most extreme members of Congress.
And when it comes to being an extremist, I want to pivot to an issue that I think is incredibly important, and that is reproductive rights. Anna Paulina Luna has declared herself a, quote, pro-life extremist. As abortion rights remain critical in this election, we have abortion on the ballot in the Amendment 4 that is in the November ballot in Florida as well. How are you drawing a contrast with Luna when it comes to reproductive rights?
We could not have more of a stark contrast on this issue. I mean, like I said, I've got 2 little girls that I'm raising who are currently growing up with fewer rights than I did. And Anna Paulina Luna supports a national abortion ban without exception for rape, incest, or the life of the mother. I mean, this is a serious issue. We are seeing doctors leaving the state of Florida. A gentleman told me just a few months ago that his daughter is pregnant with his first grandbaby, and he told her to move to Massachusetts where they have family because he didn't feel like it was safe for her to be in Florida during her pregnancy. This is an issue that we are hitting her hard on because people care about it in my district and in Florida. They believe that women should have the freedom to make their own healthcare decisions without the government telling them what they can and cannot do with their bodies. And that's why we're going to see women and men who support them showing up and voting on this issue. And if you go to WhitneyFoxForCongress.com, you'll see other important priorities that we're running on, and join our campaign in our fight to unseat Anna Paulina Luna.
So, Whitney, there was a really interesting op-ed piece in the New York Times about your race, and it said that if you can win this race, it would be much bigger than you winning. It may be a sign that the MAGA brand of political theater is on the wane in some quarters, and that an exhausted moderate majority is ready for politics to be competent and normal. Again, that really struck a chord with me, Whitney, because I've read in other media reporting that Republicans are supporting you locally as well, because you take the time to sit down, be present in the district, and to talk about the issues that apply to all voters. What's the message you want to send to voters in these final weeks before Election Day?
Listen, that's exactly right. My father is a Republican. We've had many long conversations at the dinner table about many issues, and we don't always see eye to eye. But at the end of the day, we empathetically listen to one another, we respect each other, and that's what people want in their leaders. That's why even Republicans are supporting me in my race. They are tired of Luna's extremism. They see she's getting nothing done for our district, and they want someone who's going to do the work and someone they can trust. And that's why we have cross-party support by having Republicans supporting us in our race. And that's why we're going to flip this seat in November and unseat Anna Paulina Luna.
Whitney Fox, my thanks to you for joining us today. And again, I'm glad to know that you and your family are safe.
Thank you so much, Katie.